Israel's government approved the first phase of a ceasefire and hostage deal for Gaza. Negotiators meeting in Egypt signed off on an agreement grounded in a framework championed by US President Donald Trump. Under the deal, the US will send approximately 200 troops to Israel to monitor the ceasefire alongside forces from Egypt and Qatar. The agreement sets the stage for hostilities to halt within 24 hours, and Gazans have responded with scenes of relief and celebration. No bombs, no drones, no more death. That has become the refrain among Gaza's battered communities, who see in the accord a fragile hope. People in Gaza expressed cautious optimism. Among them, "We are very happy. We can send our children to schools without having fear. They can go out on the streets. We can sit in our tents without fear. Thank God we've reached the stage where the war is over, even though our wounds will not be gone." But the cheers come amid stark reminders of devastation. Gaza has been reduced to ruins. Nearly 80% of buildings in the territory have been destroyed in 2 years of Israeli bombardment. The mass displacement means almost every resident has been forced from their home. Basic necessities, food, water, medicine, have been severely restricted, and parts of Gaza have entered famine conditions. The United Nations asserts that its staff are ready to scale up aid deliveries immediately. In the first 60 days of the ceasefire, they plan to ramp up supply lines to support hundreds of aid trucks daily. Their objective: reach 2.1 million people needing food assistance and 500,000 in urgent nutritional need. According to Gaza's health ministry, more than 67,000 people have perished, most of them civilians. Amid overwhelming tragedy, the ceasefire is being hailed as a necessary first step toward rebuilding. Yet not everyone is in a celebratory mood. There is no joy in the heart after 2 years. You can see how Gaza has been destroyed. All of Gaza's destroyed. We're going back to rubble with no house, no water, and no electricity. We were pulled out from under the rubble after I lost my father, my mother, my sister, and my family. I don't feel happy. I'm not excited about anything because we've lost so much. As applause rang in the background, it was a reminder that for many, the emotional scars run deeper than the physical ones. While the fighting may pause for now, the scale of destruction means that restoring lives and infrastructure will take years. The ceasefire deal advanced swiftly. After Israel's cabinet approved Phase 1, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu publicly thanked Trump and his US envoys. He framed the agreement as a high point in Israel's war effort. "We are at a momentous development. We fought during these 2 years to achieve our war aims, and a central one of these war aims is to return the hostages, all of the hostages, the living and the dead. And we're about to achieve that goal. We couldn't have achieved it without the extraordinary help of President Trump and his team, Steve Witt and Jared Kushner." In Tel Aviv, Israelis on the streets expressed joy over what they saw as vindication after immense hardship. "I came to support the families. Today is the biggest day for the old nation of Israel. We are so happy. 2 years like hell. It was so difficult. But I think it's time to get a little bit of happiness. I hope happy to be here, happy to celebrate everything that's going on right now with the hostage deal, hopefully be coming here in several days. So we're extremely excited." To assess whether this deal can hold, geopolitical analysts offered tempered views. Giorgio Cafiro, CEO and founder of Gulf State Analytics in Washington, D.C., noted that while the Israeli cabinet's approval marks a major milestone, the path ahead is fraught with complexity. This process moving forward is going to be very complicated. Many unknown variables. It's a very fragile ceasefire. There are many ways that this ceasefire could go sideways. He raised critical, unresolved questions. When will Israel stop hostilities? How far will ground forces withdraw? What role will Hamas play in a post-conflict Gaza? He also observed that Hamas, though weakened by 2 years of conflict, still remains a player in Palestinian politics. On the shifting dynamics between Hamas and the Palestinian Authority, PA, Cafiro said it is too early to assess how the power balance will evolve. Hamas has suffered major setbacks, yet he warned that the agreement does not yet clarify who will govern Gaza once peace takes hold. Youssef Muna, head of the Palestinian-Israeli program and senior fellow at the Arab Center in Washington, took a more skeptical tone. He emphasized the emotional relief across Gaza. People are overjoyed at the possibility that the genocide may finally come to an end. But Muna said Palestinians remain wary that Israel could still abandon its commitments, citing an earlier failed agreement in January of this year. He questioned whether Trump will be able to enforce Israeli compliance now or whether the truce will collapse again. He highlighted disarmament as a major obstacle. Hamas has not agreed to disarm, and that unresolved point could unravel the peace plan. Muna also addressed the question of governance. If Hamas steps aside, who might Palestinians accept as legitimate leadership? He asserted that many Palestinians support the idea of a Palestinian, preferably elected, administration rather than foreign control or Israeli governance. But that view clashes with Israeli objectives. Netanyahu has insisted that Gaza must remain under long-term Israeli security control. Munir cited Netanyahu's long-standing rejection of a Palestinian state and asserted that the deal risks entrenching de facto occupation under another name. Benjamin Netanyahu has been serving as Prime Minister of Israel since 2022. In November 2024, the International Criminal Court, ICC, issued an arrest warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu, and then Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, accusing them of war crimes in relation to Gaza. The current president of Israel is Isaac Herzog, in office since July 2021, though his role is largely ceremonial. This ceasefire agreement is anchored in a 20-point peace plan advanced by President Donald Trump, with Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff playing key roles in negotiation. The United States is deploying about 200 troops to Israel to monitor the truce, establish coordination centers, and oversee humanitarian logistics, though these forces will not enter Gaza. Even as the guns fall silent for now, uncertainty looms large. The ceasefire's durability is unproven, and nearly all of Gaza still lies in ruins. Rebuilding lives, restoring governance, and resolving the deeper political disputes, from borders to security to self-determination, remain unresolved. For now, the agreement offers a pause, a sliver of relief. But as experts caution, the ceasefire is fragile and the road ahead is long. The next weeks and months will test whether this accord evolves into a lasting peace or reverts into renewed conflict.